Singapore is the third most densely populated city in the world. The entire country is an island with only 281 square miles of land, but 5.5 million people live here.
Many people have attributed many things to Singapore, and as a result, there are many ways to know Singapore. And it's not about the bright lights, it's not about the skyscrapers or its 80 neighborhoods. But this is how I know Singapore. Its rich and complex ecosystems that support life of every kind, even along the expansive forest fringes and within the urban environment.
Singapore, it is a small island nation in Southeast Asia that has transformed itself from a poor and polluted city-state into a global leader in urban sustainability and greenery. Singapore is often called the Garden City because of its large presence of park and green spaces that cover almost half of its land area.
In a city this dense, you wouldn't expect much room for nature. But it's like they say, where there's a will, there's a way.
In terms of architectural design, Singapore is creating a biophilic design that integrates nature into buildings. This fosters a connection between people and natural environment. Singapore leads in this field, blending urbanization into sustainability through those innovative projects. This enhances the well-being, reduce the environmental impact, and showcase that how urban spaces can thrive in harmony with nature.
Legislation enables it to happen. The building took the land. So we need to do replacement. The legislation actually requires the building to give back 100% landscape. 100% of the site footprint has to be replaced into the building.
Like every square inch of like green space that you take up, you have to put back in into the building somehow.
Into the building.
Idea of biophilic design is how do we then design in such a way that we embrace nature, we try to bring nature into the city.
A biophilic building attempts to replace walls and windows and columns and signs and neon with leaves and bark and birds and insects.
Singapore's green vision and achievements are evident in many of its iconic and innovative projects that showcase its creativity and commitment to sustainability. Let's take a look at some of these projects.
Gardens by the Bay is a 250-acre park that features giant artificial trees that collect solar energy and rainwater and house vertical gardens of exotic plants. The park also has two domed conservatories that simulate different climates and display a variety of flora and fauna. The park is a popular attraction for locals and tourists alike, and also serves as a venue for events and exhibitions. The park aims to educate the public about the importance of environmental conservation and biodiversity. The Marina Bay Sands is a complex that includes a hotel, a casino, a museum, and a rooftop garden that spans across 3 skyscrapers. The complex has platinum status in the government's Green Mark scheme, which evaluates buildings based on their environmental impact and performance. The complex has many green features, such as energy-efficient lighting, water-efficient fittings, waste management systems, and landscaping that reduces heat gain. The rooftop garden, also known as the Sky Park, offers a panoramic view of the city's skyline and the bay, and also has a 150-meter infinity pool. The Beach Road development is a mixed-use complex that features a large undulating canopy that shelters a garden and provides natural ventilation, rainwater harvesting, and solar power. The complex also meets the Green Mark scheme requirements. The complex consists of office towers, residential apartments, retail outlets, and civic spaces. The canopy is designed to create a microclimate that reduces the need for air conditioning. and artificial lighting. The garden below the canopy has native plants that attract birds and butterflies. The Green Corridor is a 15-mile stretch of parkland that was created from a disused railway line. The corridor provides a green space for recreation, wildlife, and heritage conservation. The corridor connects various parks, nature reserves, and historical sites along its route. The corridor also serves as a green link that enhances the connectivity and biodiversity of Singapore's urban landscape.
This is a city that's taking green architecture to a whole new level. The city has one of the highest population densities in the world. However, before the 19th century, it was covered in lush rainforest, and the only inhabitants were animals who had perfectly adapted to the hot, humid climate. The Park Royal Hotel on Pickering was designed as a hotel and garden. The project has won numerous awards for its sustainable and green efforts, including the BCA Green Mark Platinum, which is Singapore's highest green rating. The building reinforces Singapore's tropical image and enhances the quality of life of its guests. It does this by providing spaces where the guests can completely immerse themselves within nature.
Stepping out into the shady tree-lined streets of Singapore. It's cooler, invigorating, and more interesting as we commute along the lush roadside forests of our streetscape. Bird songs entertain while butterflies flutter amid the colorful flowers. And the pervasive greenery that seems to extend to even the top of our buildings. We are cradled by nature. It embraces us, protects us.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of things that Singapore is doing in terms of urban forestry, the technological advancement in incorporating urban forestry into their cities to aid our environmental sustainability. But one thing is actually missing that we haven't talked about. Urban forest health. What do you think?
Well, for nowadays, urban forest health is more important. We can say Singapore is also advancing the technological craft in terms of urban forest sector.
Since 2017, Singapore has been using remote tree management system that deploy the technology of light detection and ranging to manage the urban forest health, and it's been purported to be first of its kind in the world. Let's take a look.
But a new way of working is already taking a lot of hard labor out of the equation. Since 2017, NParks has been working on the prototype for a remote tree management system, possibly first of its kind in the world. First, data on trees is collected by this rover.
We capture complete digital twins of all the trees using an electric rover going around and stopping for every scan position.
It's equipped with a laser scanner and 2 cameras. Using light detection and ranging technology, the scanner captures measurements such as the girth and height of each tree.
We're going to do a scan position here. We have the scanner turning around and recording the 3-dimensional distance of everything. So you can see it up here. It's black and white because it's only measuring the distance and the intensity of each point. It's also visible here. We start by creating a complete digital copy of the entire park or the entire streetscape. Everything is digitized in 3 dimensions and also with panoramic photos. Then we go to each individual tree and we create 1 to 3 centimeter accurate measurements of each tree.
Singapore is actually leading the path towards environmental sustainability and urban forestry with its massive urban forestry projects.
Urban forestry is the requirement for the sustainability of bigger cities, and Singapore City is one of the shining example of this.
Singapore stands as Asia's greenest city and ranks 6th globally, a shining example of how urban innovation and sustainability can thrive together.
In Singapore, urban forestry is not just about trees, it's about creating a healthier, more vibrant city for generations to come.